What is up, my dudes? I am Psych.
I'm Siren.
I'm Mickey, and that's Tarzan.
Welcome, Tarzan. And welcome back to our podcast. It's been a while since we've actually done this. So how is everyone doing? let's actually talk with the viewers again.
Good. Life is good.
How are you guys doing? Yeah.
Tarzan's so excited.
I got married.
Tarzan is excited.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I'm like, oh my god, yeah, that happened.
That happened.
Yeah.
Something.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, as far as like life goes here, there's been a lot of changes in our household too. It's been a lot of good things, not really bad, but so it's definitely been variable, I think, for all of us, and we all have exciting things coming up. You want to know what else is exciting that's coming up? The rest of this year for Five Nights at Freddy's, because Five Nights at Freddy's is already such a big franchise, and there are several things that are happening with the Five Nights at Freddy's universe. Are you guys aware of all the things that are happening with this franchise this year? I know that Micah doesn't follow
No, not at all.
as much. But
The movie was great.
The movie, yeah. Hey, you want to know what we get to talk a little bit about that too.
Nice.
So, Siren, what about you? What do you know about?
Well,
Spotlight.
yeah, I'm like, now that I'm on the spot, I've never even heard of Five Nights at Freddy's before.
Five Nights at Freddy's? Why would you be there for 5 nights?
Why would you be here for one night? No, I know that obviously FNAF is coming to Dead by Daylight.
Yes, that's it.
For
Highly
the-
anticipated.
Yeah, for the anniversary. Really excited for that. And then the second movie comes out this year, doesn't it?
It actually does. Yeah,
Okay.
It comes out later this year.
I'm ready.
I'm like super excited. And then I don't know, do they have a game dropping this year?
They do, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit too, and we're gonna
Okay.
see some parts from it. But as I said, you guys keep your Discords open. We're actually going to pull up the first video,
Oh, damn,
and the
okay.
viewers will be able to see this too. So let's go ahead and watch the very first exciting thing that was, announced not long ago, and let's take a look.
Welcome back. Are you ready to start the show? Count with me now. 5, 4, 3,
They're out there, Mike.
2,
Where?
1.
Everywhere.
Showtime!
All right, so tell me what you guys thought looking at that trailer.
I am ready. It is great. It looks scary fun.
Scary fun. That's a good way of putting it.
Let's see, what did I notice? What did I think? It's like there were a bunch of things that jumped out at me that I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like,
Yeah.
it looked like they had Freddy in a school.
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
Chico,
okay.
too.
Yeah.
And then Freddy was at like a fair,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
outside at a fair, like surrounded by people. So I was like, okay, that's weird. And then I liked
They
the
did say they're everywhere.
yeah, when Vanessa says like, they're out there where everywhere. And I like how that alludes to there are locations all over the place with these animatronics.
Yeah.
Like this is not an isolated incident. He has done this to multiple children in multiple places.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, I think one of the things that jumped out at me the most was it looked like, and I haven't freeze framed it or anything, so people in the comments can correct me if you want to, but it looks like Mangle was going through a bedroom window, which I think is kind of a landmark thing because like Five Nights at Freddy's over the franchise has eventually moved into a kid's bedroom.
Yes.
Where they're having nightmares. And I'm wondering if that's going to be allusion to that, or is that actually going to be Mangle going through?
Yeah.
It makes me wonder if Mangle is going to be the mangle that is physical, like animatronic that is there,
Right.
or if it's going to be kind of like an allusion to the nightmare animatronics from Five Nights at Freddy's 4.
Yeah.
So, and then I definitely caught the toy animatronics being in the school.
Yeah.
That I think is going to be really interesting.
I was like, oh.
So let's talk a little bit about the movie, about the lore related to the games. So
I'm
in
so
the
excited.
games, you know, it's kind of assumed that all of these animatronics probably have some kind of dead kid in them, right?
Right.
Each, at least one.
Right.
It's haunting them. But in the FNAF 2 lore, it was expanded on that the toy animatronics weren't necessarily haunted by children. They were just programmed to get essentially the person who's the child murderer.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So there are, in lore, there are two creators. There's Henry and there's Afton, William Afton. And William Afton, portrayed by Matthew Lillard.
10 out of
He
10.
did an amazing job.
Oh, yeah.
10 out of 10 casting.
So presumably, the toy animatronics would have been designed by Henry, the other creator, to kind of like track Afton and like try to prevent him and stop him.
Yeah.
So on that same line of thinking, do you guys think they're going to do the same with the toy animatronics in the movie where they are seeking the child predator? Because when you look at it and you see Chica appearing and grabbing the person through the window,
Oh, and in a
that
school
person
setting.
did, at the school setting, that person looked similar to the depiction that of William Afton by Matthew Lillard. Like he had similar features. So do you think that the toy animatronics are actually going to be haunted, or do you think that they're going to just be programmed as per the FNAF 2 lore?
Murdered rounds. They are just murdered rounds. But for one person. One type of person?
I don't know.
Because I noticed that little detail. I was like, because the glasses, the facial hair, and older.
with,
And,
yeah, with the toys in particular, they were like, they're just programmed to identify a predator.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
and
that's
to,
what they do.
Yeah, and to apprehend them. I'm not sure if the lore ever said violently apprehend or at
Right.
least, yeah.
Well, I think it said, when you're getting the warning in the second game, they're warning you to be careful. And I feel like I saw or heard or read somewhere that they're particularly telling your character to be careful because of what you look like.
Oh.
So it's like, be careful. You should probably be fine,
Yeah.
because they're programmed to go after predators. And it's like, well, if you are the son of the person who
Ow. Sorry.
they're looking for,
Exactly.
they're
'cause
going
the
to
lore-
come after you because you might look like him.
Oh,
Yeah, because the lore follows that the son of William Afton is the person you're playing as in FNAF
Yeah.
2. And also the first one.
So, I mean, it's possible. I really like how the first one, it was obviously they were haunted.
Yeah.
And then the second one, it genuinely could be. And because it looks like maybe they're going after Mike. Maybe. Mike and his sister.
Mike, well, yeah.
There's just that one scene of them like together in the house. Obviously, there's some sort of something in front of them that they're all like, it's coming at them, whatever it is. It could very well be that they're coming after him because we have yet to confirm if his dad, who up and left, is the other creator or...
Yeah, the best that
What?
we've got so far is that he is most likely, his father's most likely Henry, with the
Yeah.
amount of non-involvement and with his seeming connection and also Abby's seeming connection to these animatronics in particular.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the best we've got, and I think that's what everyone's speculating. I wouldn't put it past Scott to throw a curveball at us and make the father someone we've never seen before, though.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
have Henry someone completely else.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see.
He enjoys that.
Okay, and then I want to move past the movie talk because we have a lot more to talk about. But
Okay.
one more question, and it's been burning on everyone's mind as far as the FNAF movie has gone, as speculation. So it is not. It is totally normalized in the FNAF lore of the games and the books that there are animatronics that are essentially skinwalkers, where they're walking around as normal people and they believe that they're normal people, but they are actually animatronics with a skin suit on.
Yeah.
When it could just be because it was a PG-13 movie, but when Vanessa got stabbed in the very first movie, there wasn't any blood. She's in the hospital. Everyone thought just the context clues were weird when it came to her being stabbed. So everyone's speculating that Vanessa is very similar to a character in the books, and her name is Charlie. And Charlie was essentially replaced by an animatronic because Charlie is deceased. And so she finds that out in her story arc.
Yeah.
She finds her corpse.
She's
and
like, oh
she,
my God, I'm
she's-
not even.
And she finds older versions of herself and all this other stuff. It's this wild ride that you get to go with Charlie in the books. I have not read all of them, so I can't say too much about it. All I can know, that's all I know based off of what I've learned online. But people are speculating that Vanessa is going to mirror that story arc. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that they're actually going to make Vanessa like an android?
Honestly, that would make for a really good story. I would love it.
It's possible. I mean, her hair's longer in this one, so it could be that when she was stabbed, oh no, she's in the hospital, and then he just carefully replaced her with an older version of herself so nobody would notice.
Oh.
Assuming he was able to get out after being spring locked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I can't
always
remember.
come back.
I can't remember. If someone can confirm in the comments below whether or not the animatronics that have skin suits on are able to continuously grow hair, please let us know. I think they might have brushed on that in the books, but quite frankly,
maybe.
it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for me to keep track since there are so many.
Yeah. Maybe I'll read the books.
Yeah, I'm not much of a book reader.
I love doing that and picking out all the details and stuff. I could do that.
I'll read
We
them.
could become our book lore expert. Yeah, Micah and I can confer.
Yeah, my husband.
that'd be
my
great.
husband just bought me a Kindle. I'm ready.
Boom.
Look at you guys go. I only have one physical book, and I can't remember when Siren bought it for me.
Literally 5 years ago.
Yeah, I might still have it on that shelf, and I've gotten 3 pages in because I don't do that reading thing, all right?
Oh my God.
I'm not even good with audiobooks, okay?
I'll read it out loud.
If it's not visual, if I'm not making videos, if I'm not doing the podcast, I don't want it.
Wow.
Audiobooks are my life. I listen to them at all points in the day. I'm driving, audiobook. I'm cleaning, audiobook. I'm outside doing crap, audiobook. I love my
Makes it
audiobooks.
easier to get through stuff.
Yeah, it does. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to send you guys another link. So it's another video. We're going to
Okay.
watch it, and then we're going to talk a little bit about it. And then I'll have a subsequent video after we have a short discussion about it.
Okay.
All right.
So let me explain the situation. One of our contractors, Edwin Murray, has gone missing, leaving our property abandoned in his warehouse. Your job is simple. Enter the warehouse and retrieve the technology that he was developing for us. It's a kind of prototype endoskeleton that can adapt to any costume and become any character. We suspect it may be malfunctioning, so just be aware of the slim but non-zero chance that you could sustain significant injuries while attempting to retrieve it, including but not limited to death or dismemberment. We fully expect the retrieval process to go smoothly and without incident. But just in case, we suggest you get your affairs in order before arriving.
Back to work.
Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible for damage to property or person. Thank you for being a valued member of the Fazbear team.
So, what do you guys think about that?
That comes out in like a few weeks.
There was
Yes,
there was a
it
little
does.
there was a litlittle mushroom head plushie at the beginning. I was like, oh, how cute! And then like mushroom head
Then he was
plushie.
fucking
I was like,
lumbering
I want him.
I just love that they definitely put big old DJ Music Man in there.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, good. Now I have to worry about when I play this game. He's going to be crashing through the roof and eating me.
Yes. I could not. I had to contain my cackle when he said what it was like, slim but not zero chance
Of serious
dismemberment
injury.
or something. Of
Of
serious
death or
injury.
dismemberment.
I was like, that slim but not zero chance. And that was like my favorite line of the whole thing.
Oh, Scott has like a touch of being able to do that, and it's phenomenal with the games. And I think that he had more, just based off of the trailer, it feels like he had more of a hand in this than he did with Security Breach.
Agreed.
And I have a lot more faith that this is going to succeed as a Five Nights at Freddy's game.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. I love, he does all the voices for
Not
like
anymore.
for the
but-
Fazbear people. Like, is that his voice that we hear?
No.
Or is that somebody that he got pretty early on to voice that?
That one I think is a higher voice. I don't think that's actually him. He was doing most of the voice acting himself until FNAF 3, where he started to hire people.
Yeah. I don't know. I love that, like, you recognize that voice. I hear that voice and I'm immediately like, oh yeah, this is a FNAF game. I'm excited.
Yep, you know it's official when you hear that voice. The
Yeah.
Fazbear Entertainment is not, that's
Fazbear
super
Entertainment
iconic.
cannot be held liable for death, dismemberment, etc. Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved
Okay.
the different. I loved how you mentioned earlier how they could wear a skin suit. How it was saying the animatronics could fit into any costume. My brain was like, human costume.
Mm-hmm. The mimic can be anyone.
The lore behind the Mimic is it's quite amazing because you get to see the Mimic in the books.
Oh.
Because the Mimic was actually, correct me if I'm wrong. It was made for someone. I'm assuming Charlie. It was made to essentially entertain and watch Charlie or someone else.
Another child.
It was some child, and it would mimic and learn. That was the whole program, is that it'd mimic people.
Ah, it's AI.
It would mimic the kid, and would learn how everything and its mannerisms. And after like the years and years and years went by, it just continued and continued to learn. And
Yeah.
the Mimic is the animatronic we see at the very end of Security Breach Ruin DLC.
Yes.
The very bottom, where he was mimicking Gregory the entire time. He
Yep.
can mimic voices. He can mimic movements. Can wear any suit, as said. And we saw even the variety of like how big and small each of those suits were, which was kind of terrifying that it can go into any of those. For me, I'm not going to have fun when it comes to that clown popping out of the vents on the ceiling.
A nerd?
That's I'm not. That doesn't sound fun. But I'm probably gonna play this for the channel.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I'm
absolutely.
pretty excited. I'm like, I want to play this game.
Oh God, yeah.
I
So we'll see.
do not. I'm gonna be
No
screaming.
plans to play this. That's okay. You could watch the videos when they
I
come
will
out
do
on the
that. I
channel,
will do
because
that.
then I'll be your buffer.
There you go.
But this is a highly anticipated game. There isn't a lot of buzz going around it right now, but I expect there to be a lot more as soon as it releases and YouTubers start putting out Let's Plays on it, because that's really where Five Nights at Freddy's has succeeded the most, is with Let's Players playing the game and it getting watched. It has done phenomenal comparative to if it just was selling for the gameplay itself.
Right.
So I'm about to send you guys another video, and it's on the same line. This is also about the secret of the Mimic. So I have not seen this one, so let's see what it's all about.
Okay.
You look terrible. I'm exhausted. So much to do by morning. I'll never be ready for my big presentation. All I want to do is sleep. Why sleep when you can stay up latte?
Stay up late.
No, latte. It's new, from Millie's. Try it. Oh, distinctive taste. Rich and roasted, yet creamy and sweet. Give me more. That's Millie's secret recipe. The Stay Up Latte creates the perfect cup of coffee suited to you, based on your coffee habits.
I know what you want better than you do. I am always watching and learning. How another come, how another come, how another come, how another.
Morning. Did you stay up all night?
No, I stayed up latte. After 2 full pots, I'm ready to work. Promotion, here I come.
That's the Millie's difference.
What do you guys think about that? Because that dropped about a little over a week ago from today.
The random little cutscene where it starts to blur and then show you something else and then pops back in. It was like,
That was good. That was a nice creepy little element. I'm like, I wonder what they were alluding to. And I'm just sitting here watching it like, damn. So they were giving their employees cocaine? Like, that's cocaine in a cup. No need to snort when you can drink it when it's rich, sweet, and creamy.
Stay up latte.
roasted, rich, sweet, and creamy. Don't forget the roasted.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I forgot. Sorry. I can't have
But
to.
what's roasted?
Yep, it's signature.
What is it?
That was hysterical.
Gotta stay up latte.
I
Okay,
know
so-
what you like better than you do. Have
Yeah.
another one.
Anna, have another one.
Yeah, I was like,
God damn, that was
You stay
good.
up all
I'd say-
night? No, I stayed up a
No,
latte.
I said latte.
And the
What?
fucking laugh track. Oh my god.
And the mouths.
Yeah,
Oh, the mouths.
And I
So
loved it.
crazy.
Like the 6 bags under his eyes when he said he stayed up latte and he's ready for that promotion. I'm like, yep. You know, anyone watching this, surely they'll be all like, man, I want to stay
I
up
want
latte
to stay up
too.
a latte.
Yeah, right. Man, that looks
Just
great.
one.
Yeah, bags under my eyes. Heck yeah, me too.
Yeah, same, buddy.
What is sleep?
So-
We don't need sleep.
Who needs sleep when you can stay up latte?
Stay up latte.
It knows you what you want better than you do.
It does.
So I wonder if that actually is going to have anything to do with the actual game or if it's like just a fun little trailer.
Yeah,
Because knowing Scott Cawthon, and he throws the tiniest hints in and the tiniest like lore drops everywhere. This obviously had to be something. It's just, is it going to be gameplay related or just straight lore related?
Okay, but I
Right.
want to know, what would it make you? Because I think it would just be spitting me out cans of Red Bull.
Here, have a Red Bull.
A latte Red
A
Bull.
latte Red Bull.
latte.
Ugh. a latte. Yes.
A lot of Red
A lot
Bull.
bowl.
A
A
You
lot
can-
bowl.
so you can stay up lot bowl.
lot bowl.
Oh my god, I hate it. What would
Oh
it
my
make
God.
me? It would make me a chai latte.
Oh, aha.
It would help you stay up latte.
And help me stay up chai latte.
Yep. For me,
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just
As long as it's-
Okay.
drugs. Just still a
it
drugs.
was just Sella draw. Oh my god.
God.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
love it.
so like now that you've seen the teasers, it comes out. There's not a lot of more information than what I just showed you on the actual game. Like this is it.
Of course.
For the majority of this is mostly what we got. So, is there anything like as far as anticipation level? If you had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, from all the Five Nights at Freddy's stuff that you've known, or even just scary games in general, the genre of mascot horror in general, on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you place Secret of the Mimic on how anticipating you are to see it come out?
I'm excited to watch you play it. 10, and I want to read it. 10. I play it. 7. It still looks really interesting.
Yeah, like
And 7's not a bad rate. It's
I
just
don't
because I
know.
don't do scary games.
Just not yet. not even necessarily for playing it
Yeah.
or like anything like that, but just for it to be out so that all the content that it has comes out too. Like like Micah said, where it's like being able to watch someone else play it or read anything about it or stuff like that.
I don't know. I feel like I'm at like a solid 9.
A 9.
I feel like it would be a 10, except Security Breach knocks me down 1.
Oh yeah,
Because I
Really?
was so excited for that, and then like, it didn't feel like a Five Nights at Freddy's game to me.
No, it was definitely way different play style, and it was set in the same universe. It was a different game, like kind of game. I think it did a really good job expanding the lore and bringing it to the
Yes.
present, but I also think that it did a really poor job on capitalizing on the brand and what made the brand successful to begin with.
Yeah.
So I can definitely understand your reservations.
Yeah. I'm like super excited because it looks more like already just watching the trailer, I'm like, that feels more like a FNAF game to me.
Yeah, I mean, even if you just think about it, Security Breach, think about the Ruin DLC, and how do you rate that as a Five Nights at Freddy's experience?
I loved the Ruin DLC.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the general consensus, is that the Ruin DLC is the thing. Like that's the big reason you should play Security Breach is to
Yes.
play the DLC,
Yes.
and I think like this takes they noticed that. I
Yeah.
think Steel Wool Studios was like, oh, well, this did really well, and this other one didn't. The original didn't. The DLC did phenomenal.
Yeah.
So maybe they're like trying to push towards and like getting the feelers out. Because I
Yeah.
mean, before this, really, what has Steel Wool Studios done? Just Help Wanted,
Yeah. Which is amazing.
which Help Wanted and Help Wanted 2, 10 out of 10. I
Yes.
love them. I need to revisit Help Wanted 2.
Yes.
For any of the viewers who are still sitting out there listening to this, if you've listened this far, then you deserve to know the only reason that stopped me from doing my VR episodes is because I'm waiting to get contacts, because I refuse to put on that VR headset with glasses
One
again.
more time!
That was absolutely horrible. I am never doing that again. I did it for you guys, okay? I did it for you. Not for me.
For
I did it for you. Okay? And because of that, I'm gonna be waiting until I have contacts, and then I'll revisit Help Wanted 2, which apparently has a lot of mimic teasers in it.
Ooh, okay. I'm excited.
Yeah. So we have that to look forward to in the upcoming month. By the time this podcast comes out, it's probably going to be a week out until it actually drops.
Okay, so pretty close to 10 days before the game drops.
Yeah. So here is. So now we talked about the mimic. I have one more video for you guys.
Oh boy.
And this is really short. It is a teaser. I'm pretty sure Siren's already seen it. And so the Five Nights at Freddy's is teaser to Dead by Daylight. By the time we're recording this, everything we say here is going to either be completely confirmed or debunked. Because the PTB for the Five Nights at Freddy's chapter drops tomorrow. So we are recording the day before.
Wow.
Which is probably not the smartest idea on my part to choose to discuss this, but I wanted to discuss this anyway.
That's
I
fair.
wanted to talk about a few things because Dead by Daylight has been an iconic game in horror, ranking as the most popular asymmetrical horror game of all time. And it has been tycooning the industry since it was created. Like knocking everything else, any other horror game that's been created that's asymmetrical horror has so far not survived that long in comparison to Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight has huge brand like IPs, like licensed content, ranging from Michael Myers all the way to Attack on Titan, and they have anime characters now coming to Dead by Daylight. Like we recently had the Tokyo Ghoul chapter, and quite frankly, that one is terrifying. I am in love with the new killer they brought in with that. They've been bringing in more original killers and original survivors that have some unique aspects to them. They've been building on the lore of their universe for years now. So they're very successful, and they're finally getting a collaboration with Five Nights at Freddy's. And apparently the talks about this have been they've been talking to Scott for quite a while, and Scott has been super rigid about what they can do to try to maintain the integrity of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Of course.
Because he's got a tight lid on that, and I think anyone else can see that. So
Yeah, respect, dude.
they picked Springtrap. I think it was an obvious decision. A lot of people are very happy with it. A lot of people are actually not happy with it.
Ugh.
They don't think Springtrap is scary enough.
Of course.
So it looks like Springtrap's going to probably be wielding a knife, because they released a teaser that you can have a legendary skin for Matthew Lillard's depiction of Springtrap.
Mm-hmm.
So with all of that in mind, PTB drops tomorrow. These are the last minute guesses that we have that we get to put on the internet. What do you think his power is going to be in Dead by Daylight? What's going to set him apart from other killers in Dead by Daylight?
Oh my god, dude. I don't... That is not my area of expertise. I am so bad at
So for context, for people who aren't super familiar with all the FNAF games, and also Micah, I don't know how familiar you are with Springtrap in general. So Springtrap was introduced in the third Five Nights at Freddy's game. And in that game, as opposed to the first game where you had to worry about 4 animatronics, well, technically 5, because there's a ghost animatronic you could encounter as well. 4 animatronics in the first game, and then, I can't even remember, a ton of animatronics in the second game.
Yeah.
Like just, I don't know, 12, I want to say. I can't remember. But as opposed to you just building on that and doing more animatronics and more mechanics you need to worry about, Scott decided to go with, you only have to worry about one animatronic. That's it. Just the one. And so you are, same kind of setting. You're sit down, you're using cameras, you're fixing systems to try to keep yourself alive and survive 5 nights. But the entire time, Springtrap is trying to find his way to you.
Okay.
In the game, he would use vents to fast travel around a place or directly to you. And if you're not able to block off these vents in time, he would be able to instant kill you. In order to lure him away, you'd have to use pre-recorded sounds that you could play across speakers across the entire facility, and he would go towards them. Springtrap is at the end of the movie that you've seen, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, when Matthew Lillard gets spring-trapped into the yellow bunny suit. It is him. He's possessed the body. He's no longer alive. He's a corpse inside that, but he has possessed the suit, much like the children have possessed their animatronic suits.
So the Mori might be something similar to that Springtrap, where maybe it opens back up and gobble.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. I would love to see something similar to that. So
what if there's just a bunch of vents all over the map now?
That's what a lot of people are saying. I can
see that.
Hold on. I have some real quick screenshots to share with you guys as well. And these are teasers that Dead by Daylight has thrown out in the past couple of days. They're going to be dropping another one here soon, because they've been doing one for every night. And I'll go ahead and throw these teasers up on the screen so all the viewers can see as well.
There you go. Rats in the vents. Vents. There's going to be vents.
Exactly. And that was the first one they dropped. The rats in the vents, everyone's saying that he's going to have vents that he gets to crawl through that go around the entire map. I don't think this is going to be a likely travel mechanic, but I want to know if you guys think the same.
I wonder if the toolbox will give you a tool to stop the vents or like tighten them or break them. Because the toolbox is in a square. Sorry, I'm just reading them now. I'm like, ideas.
That is true. Toolbox from a repair room. We don't know if these are actually gameplay mechanic leaks or tints or anything. All we know is that this is what Dead by Daylight has chosen to put out, and obviously they'll probably have to consult with.
I was gonna
Scott
say
on
what
what
Dead
they
by
can.
Daylight and Scott have chosen
Yeah,
to put out,
exactly.
because he would have been like, no, it has to be very specific.
You know how-
like they shortly before they announced the Five Nights at Freddy's chapter began to come out, they went after Leaks by Daylight
Oh.
Yeah,
and like completely like shut down a bunch of leaking operations.
yeah.
You know,
So-
And they've never cared before.
Oh wow. You know
Yeah.
how like when you get discovered or like you get that blue aura for a quick second or whatever it is? Or maybe that's when you get I don't know. But you know how when you get sensed, like they know you're there because something happens and you've been exposed? Exposed, that's the word.
Oh,
Yeah, when you get
exposed and like the
exposed.
whole screen.
What if for them, when they expose you, everybody just explodes with a little bit of confetti?
Okay, wee.
Confetti everywhere. Yeah, where's the confetti
Yeah.
coming from? I find more every night. I'm like, yeah, that's a little like compared to the other two. Like, you know, the
That
toolbox,
one's-
I can understand how that relates to Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
Rats in the vents, could it be colluding to the power, but confetti? Like, why are we talking about confetti?
Yeah.
But everyone's saying from the first teaser that he's gonna have a vent traveling mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's gonna have a vent traveling mechanic.
Because it would be too similar to like the Demogorgon.
For me,
Oh.
I think it'd be too similar to the Alien Killer.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you think about it, also think about practically. The Alien Killer has, like, the little mounds that come out of the ground.
But what if the
Yeah.
vents
And you can
just appear and they don't move, and he can't get more or less unless he's got a certain perk, and then
That's like the Alien Killer.
Oh.
Yeah, that's very similar, because the aliens... So the aliens' power is they can travel through tunnels at swift speeds, underground tunnels, and there are set mounds across the
Okay,
map.
so they are set. Okay.
Yeah.
So they are like set. The alien killer can't move them. But so first of all, I think it'd be too similar to the alien killer.
Yeah.
But let's throw aside the fact that let's just say that they had to do that because otherwise Scott wouldn't let them, because he required it to be a mechanic that they do this.
Yeah.
I still don't think that it would be something that either of them would move forward with, because think about how janky it'd look to have vents just sticking out everywhere like those mounds were. Because, like, if you have Coldwind Farm, the map,
Yeah.
with the cornfield,
Like, where are you putting these vents?
like, you think there's just going to be, like, a vent
Maybe
sticking
on
out of the
wall.
ground
sticking
in
out
the
of the
corn.
ground? Yeah, but in Coldwind Farm, there is, like, just large areas of nothing where there's just cornfield and, like, you know, a pallet here and there with some haystacks. I don't think they're going to put a vent in a haystack.
Yeah,
That
I
would
feel
be
like
funny.
Scott would be like, no, that makes no
That
sense.
would be kind of funny, yeah.
That'd be
Could you imagine?
hysterical. Like, oh, look, there's just a vent here.
A Springtrap came out of the hay. He's in the hay. So I don't think Springtrap's gonna be in the hay. But do you guys have any ideas on, aside from these, either using these as kind of inspiration from what you know about the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise? What do you think is the most likely power they're going to give him?
I really don't know.
That's the hard part, is because I don't know either.
Yeah, I
What
have
if he
no
can turn
idea.
himself
There's so
into a
many.
rat? Just because it says we've got
He
rats.
turned into the rats.
He just somehow
He's the
shrinks down to rat size so you don't see him, kind of like Chucky.
Oh my god, dude. Ooh.
Oh, could you imagine a killer though that like completely, like, I don't know, disseminates into like a bunch of rats, goes from fully like a person to just like morphs into like a horde of rats to travel and becomes undetectable. So like when they're coming near and you're working on a gen, all you hear is like the
It's
scurrying
just a
of
bunch
rats,
of scuttering
and
coming
then
at you.
they all come back together.
Oh,
Yeah, that'd be a good terrifying.
no. Oh yeah,
idea.
absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, I'm wondering. So here's my pitch.
Okay.
I think that all of these teasers they're doing are just red herrings.
Oh.
Because I think there isn't going to be a whole lot of truth to any of them, and that they're just fun little things. Because they've been avoiding teasers and spoilers this long, why put anything overt? If anything, like the placement of the fucking ladle in the background of the kitchen where it's blurred is going to be the important detail. Like,
Right.
I don't know. right? Okay, it's going to be something obscure because Scott's really good at that. I'd be very surprised if there's anything to do with events. What I think is going to be incorporated is I think they're going to incorporate the hallucination animatronics. And I think he's going to have some kind of insanity mechanic similar
to the doctor. Yeah, I agree.
Where it's not nearly as annoying as the doctor, but you get more jump scares the less you maintain your sanity.
Yeah.
And perhaps he gets a notification anytime someone gets jump scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would be a passive ability, and then there have to be something that's active.
Yeah. I don't know.
So
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I'm excited.
Yeah, either way, it's dropping tomorrow, and I'm gonna be recording that thing for hours to try to get some content out on it the next day. Okay, and that brings us to our activity, the last thing that we're doing, the thing that everyone's been waiting for. It's real quick. It's directly relating to Dead by Daylight and a new chapter, in essence. But I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes to sit and think about it. But the competition is, I want you guys to create a new chapter. All right? I want you to make a killer and survivor. And I want you to have a specific power that the killer has, like a good concept, right? And tell me one perk that the killer would have and that the survivor would have. That could be a shareable perk, leveled up in the blood web given to other survivors. That would be related to whatever lore you want to put into them. The only thing I ask is that don't use licensed characters. Like, don't say I'm going to make the Thing chapter because, or I'm going to put make an It chapter. You can use any kind of other, like real life killers or like mythology or any other inspiration. As long as it's relatively, like, original, that's just, and no pre-existing ones, obviously. Don't be all like, well, my killer is Michael Myers, and what Michael Myers
you just told us we couldn't do characters like him, so we wouldn't be able to.
There you
yeah, that's
go.
true. Oh, my character is the Huntress, and she throws hatchets. Yeah. So that's the competition. I'm gonna give you guys about 5 minutes. So when we right now we're recording this, and I think right now it's 10:37 a.m. for us.
Yep.
So once we get to 42,
'Kay.
then we'll see where we're standing. In the meantime, while you guys are figuring this out, I'm going to talk a little bit, and you guys are welcome to chip in on the new mechanics and things they've changed in Dead by Daylight so far that I have to admit I don't think I'm much of a fan of some of these, and some of the changes I'm excited for. So I'm not a big fan of the quests. Like, not going to lie, I feel like it takes a lot of the interactivity that I had with daily rituals and selecting tasks from the tome away. It makes me feel like I'm doing less, and I'm just kind of, I'm going through the game. I feel like it just feels it feels less like Dead by Daylight and more like Fortnite. And, like, there's a reason I fell off of Fortnite quite a while ago. I just think it takes some of the personality away. I don't know why the daily quests had to be mutually exclusive when it comes to the daily rituals. Like, why couldn't you just have both? Because you have the ones that are specific tasks for killers or specific tasks for survivors. And then you have the daily quests, which they're super generalized. You can do with anyone for your daily quests. As opposed to injure 2 people using Dire Crows with the artist, as an example. Now the daily quests are hook 3 survivors, or, succeed 3 generator skill checks, or on hook 1 survivor, earn 15,000 blood points. For me, it takes away my reason to want to do my dailies, because the dailies are just so generalized. I feel like I'm not going to the dailies because I want to have fun doing the dailies. I look at the daily quests and I'm just like, it's whatever. It's just what you normally do in a round. It's not any kind of special task or goal that I'm trying to work towards. It takes away from the game more than it gives to the game, in my opinion. Because if they had both, that'd be great, you know? Because then I'm doing it, and then I have my little specific tasks I'm working on. But I think that it's a big mistake on Behavior's part, and I think that it's going to be reflective in the amount of people that are consistently playing. I think it's also going to be really hard for them to gauge that because the Five Nights at Freddy's chapter is coming out right now, and so people are going to be flocking to the game because Five Nights at Freddy's is a big IP. And they're not going to see the consequences of what taking away daily rituals, taking away the tome tasks versus adding the quests actually entails and what it actually is how it's going to affect the game. So I think that that's unfortunately something that is just going to be another little knock for the death knell that will eventually come to the game, as all games usually have. So I guess we're gonna have to see.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest gripe with Dead by Daylight right now. It's what I think is going to be their biggest mistake that they've made so far. And it's really like something that they probably think is inconsequential because it's still it's still game mechanics, but it's not the same. It's like the achievement that you get for one feels different than the achievement you get for the other. It's not like a cold, hard math equation. It's like the skill it takes to do each of these dailies. But they have some other changes coming, which are pretty cool. They announced the PTB notes and some of the changes they're going to have in the PTB that they're going to reflect and they're trying to move into the game is getting or kind of punishing the go next mechanics that people will use, i.e. using all of their attempts and then giving up on hook.
On first hook.
Giving up on first hook. Immediately going next. What they're going to be changing is you're no longer going to be allowed to attempt to unhook yourself. You just won't. Unless you have a perk that lets you do that. Slippery meat, deliverance, stuff like that.
Blech.
Or if you throw in a luck offering.
Okay, because you're obviously looking for the chance to potentially unhook yourself.
Exactly. That's usually what I would think they're used for. I don't actually know all the things that luck plays into for Dead by Daylight, but the unhooking is the first thing I think of when I throw in a luck offering.
Right. 4%.
Typically, I'll throw in slippery meat and I'll throw in a luck offering.
Yeah.
But they're also going to make luck luck offerings and map offerings hidden, so that it's still a surprise for most people where we're going to go.
Yeah.
So, and on top of that, the map offerings no longer stack. So if people throw in 2 RPDs and 1 Cold Wind, the Cold Wind has an equal chance of getting the RPD still. So that'll be nice.
Yeah.
Those are some good changes, some quality of life changes that I think are going to be really good for the game.
Yeah. Agreed.
They're also for people who do attempt to go next, or people who are trying to do that. They get a disconnect penalty, and they also are trying to change the body blocking a bit. So when survivors get crows, all 3 crows, they no longer have collision with other survivors or killers.
Oh.
Which means that if the killer decides to stand in front of you and just block you in, that once you get those 3 crows, you can go through the killer.
That's yeah.
Gonna work the same with survivors.
That's great, because I've definitely seen videos. It's never happened to me personally, but I've seen videos of killers taking a game hostage and holding someone in a room, like in Hawkins, or that one room with the gen, where you're just like, I can't get around the killer and they're not killing me, but I don't want to take a penalty.
Yeah.
for
exactly.
DCing. So like I'm just gonna have to sit here for however long.
Yeah. And they're changing the detection. I don't know how this is going to work because it's obviously something they're experimenting with. They're changing the detection for how fast you get crows and what activities like warrant as AFK. So
Okay.
they're probably going to be depending on if you're moving from a certain tile or not.
Oh, okay. Because yeah, like you can totally just be like sitting there hiding, but it's like, dude, if you're gonna sit there and hide for, even if you're moving around, like you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
So
like
you
if
deserve a crow.
if you're walking in circles, like that
Yeah.
kind of
Versus
thing.
like I'm creeping around the map, but I'm moving around.
Yeah. So we'll see how that all plays out.
Yeah.
But that's going to be dropping tomorrow. We'll see how fast I could get the content out with Siren on that. But well, for now, you know, I'm sure everyone has already on this channel. You'll have already seen a Springtrap episode, so we'll see how that goes. I'm going to
Yep.
see how that goes then. In the meantime, how are your killer ideas? Who wants to go first? Killer and survivor.
I'm not good at this. It's gonna be
You
so
don't-
bad.
I'm not either, but I do have one for each.
Oh, good. That's good. You do too, Siren?
Okay.
You
I
do?
have a killer and a survivor.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay. Well, seeing as Micah was very vocal about having hers ready, I think you should go first.
I'm ready. All right. So hear me out. So for the killer, I'm going to go with the killer first because it's not as good. I think my survivor is pretty good.
Okay.
But to start off my killer, I'm thinking a kappa. You know, the little the Japanese
Yeah.
like, turtle monsters.
Yeah.
Okay.
So their mooring will be like their mori could be like the da 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 da, but obviously not that. But pretty much you're on the ground, and then he just jumps up, shell down, and smushes.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
snap.
Just get smushed.
Just smooshed.
Oh my god. I could just
Damn.
imagine just fucking.
Da,
Could a legendary skin for that be John Cena?
Squish.
So that just comes out of invisibility like the Wraith. It could even be John Cena. Absolute smashes the survivor. Blood flying everywhere. That's amazing.
And then I'm not good with perks, so this may be OP, and it probably is a little, but it's okay. But like a perk could be that they make the ground kind of marshy, which slows down the survivor and gives them a little bit of a speed gain.
That actually is a pretty good idea. I like
Yeah.
that.
Thanks. And that's all I got for my kappa.
Okay. And what about your survivor?
Okay, now hear me out. Pedro Pascal.
10 out of
I
10.
see.
I agree.
His
Oh
perk.
shoot! Oh my gosh! Yes, that means you
Are
could
you
do
ready?
them in Dead by Daylight. You could do the meme with Nicolas Cage and Pedro
Oh my
Pascal.
God!
Yes, exactly.
That's the perk.
No. Even
Oh,
better.
okay.
The perk is daddy.
Yes.
It makes the knees weak and slows the killer for like a stint of time, you know? It just makes the killer slow down because their knees are weak.
Oh my gosh!
And then they could also have flirt, which increases the morale of the rest of the survivors.
I love this. 10 out of 10.
I love that. Oh my
Somebody
gosh!
contact the developers.
Please, Pedro Pascal, be in Dead by Daylight so I
You
can
get-
have you and Nick Cage. That's the only characters I ever need to play in my life.
There you go. Done.
I'll be happy. It'll be complete.
Oh my gosh! Another perk for Pedro Pascal could be don't say Baby Yoda. And when the killer first starts initiating a chase with you, you don't leave scratch marks for like 10 seconds.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
I
Yeah.
love
that. Get away.
Get away.
Disney, don't get me.
I love that, dude. Oh my God.
That is amazing. I love every part of that. Could that be Pedro Pascal, and could it be all deriving from the freaking Saturday Night Live that they did with Pedro Pascal with his Mario Kart thing? That would tie that all up into a nice little
I
bow.
love that.
I think that's great.
She
All right,
wins.
Siren.
She wins.
All right, Siren. Well, I mean, I'm gonna take into account a few other things. Okay.
Okay. Well, all of this talk about DBD, I was thinking about more like, I don't know, like circus that's what it got my brain
Oh
on.
yeah, okay.
And I was thinking, we already have a clown character in Dead by Daylight,
We do, yes.
but I fucking hate it. So we're just going to replace that clown with my clown.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay?
Oh, okay.
Because I hate that clown. He's
Okay.
dumb, and I hate him.
Okay, what would the clown do then?
So what I was thinking, what I came up with is that this is just the first thing that popped into my head. The clown character, one of his perks is that he can mark certain gens by damaging them or lockers by opening them, like 2, 3, or 5 respectively as you level up the perk. A marked gen or locker, when touched by a survivor, turns whatever item they're carrying into like a fake item.
Oh.
Like a clown. So like the toolbox, just like you go to use it and it just lets out bubbles. Or like the med kit, you go to use the med kit and it's just confetti. Like the flashlight, you go to use the flashlight and like, you know, the guns with the little flag
Yeah.
in the cartoons,
Yeah,
it would be
bang.
like that. You go to flashlight the killer and it's just a little flag pops out.
I see.
Because you wouldn't know if you've interacted with one of the things that the killer has interacted with. You'd have no idea. So you go to use your flashlight and you're like, oh, fuck. You know?
like
and then
that.
the
I
item
like that a
returns
lot.
to normal if the survivor escapes with it.
Okay.
So similar to like, you know, Franklin's. Where
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, you can be pissed that you came in with this item and you don't get to use it, but like it happens. There are other perks that cause that to happen too. So this is not a new thing. Like this isn't crazy, unprecedented.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my killer idea.
I like that. I like that.
And then for the survivor, I wasn't really sure, nothing too crazy. So I just said the survivor, one of their perks is that they can see the auras of the last 1, 2, or 4 things the killer has interacted with. So they, from across the map, they could see like if he breaks a pallet, kind of like alert,
Right.
but you see the pallet instead of the killer.
okay.
So you're like, okay, killer's over there somewhere. You see it for, you know, a certain amount of time before it disappears or whatever.
Right.
So they could be like a detective character or a journalist character if you want to get into the lore of like they're investigating the circus or there's some like weird stuff going on where this clown is, and that's how the two are tied together. But yeah, that was my survivor idea.
I like that.
That's
What would the weapon be? What would the clown be carrying around?
That's what I was trying to think. Like clowns, creepy clowns. Usually they just have like a knife or something, but I'm like, that's boring.
You could give him like a Harley Quinn bat or something. That'd be
There you
hilarious.
go. He could have like a bat or just something that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
From
He has a water gun. It's acid.
and that's what like when you started talking about Maury's, I was like, what if his Maury is like he pulls out this water gun and you like, oh, it's a clown with a water gun, but it's actually acid and it melts the skin off of the survivor.
Melts the hell out of you. There you go.
Yeah, that's good.
But-
I mean, you could even take it. You could plagiarize from the Joker at that point and have the flour on the
Oh,
suit,
yeah.
where you squeeze
Oh,
it and the
yeah.
acid comes out and starts to burn the survivor.
Yeah.
Do a bunch of other shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that there you go.
I like that. I like
That's my
that.
idea.
Elaborate more on. Did you tell us the survivor perk that you came up with?
Yes. The survivor perk that they can see the auras of the last things that the killer interacted with.
Oh, okay. And what
So
was
it
the-
would be like a perk that you can equip to specifically combat, like kind of like how Hardened is almost specifically for the doctor.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Well,
Anticipating that someone's coming in with this perk, you can see. So you're like, the killer interacted with that gen. I'm not touching it until that effect goes away.
okay.
So that you can keep so if you're going in with like an anniversary med kit or toolbox or something, you're
Right,
not going to
okay.
risk losing it.
Okay. And so was the power also the that you explained in the beginning? Is that a killer perk or is that the killer's unique power?
I don't know. It could be the unique power.
Yeah. Because
Of
I
the
feel
killer.
like it fits pretty well as a unique power in my
Yeah.
opinion. Because
Yeah.
then people know they can't trust their items. But I also feel like it's something that, could be built on more. I mean, both of your guys' ideas I like so far. So we have we're pretty close to time here. So let me make my decision. Let's see. So as far as creativity and uniqueness goes, I'm gonna have to give some cherry bombs to Micah because
Oh, dude, Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, dude.
And And let's see, and it made me think of like a horror version of Mario, which you get an extra cherry bomb for that. I think I'm gonna have to give one regular size bomb to Brit though, because she said to replace the clown, and I like those words.
I like that.
Bubbles coming out of the toolbox is also a really good one. I like that a lot. So you'll get a couple cherry bombs for that.
Woo.
Oh gosh, Pedro Pascal.
Right? I'm like, these are two totally, completely different ideas and good in completely different ways.
Yeah,
Pedro Pascal, dude.
Yeah, like the Nicolas Cage chapter, I
mean.
loved. I mean, I could definitely get on board with a Pedro Pascal chapter.
Yes,
like
dude.
Hell
the
yeah.
Okay, so I am gonna have to take away 2 cherry bombs from Micah, though. I'm sorry
Why?
because they are amazing killer and amazing like an amazing killer and an amazing survivor idea, and I love them both, but I feel like they don't pair well together as a single
They
chapter.
don't. I know.
Oh,
I
so-
couldn't think of a pairing.
That's
yeah,
valid.
and so unfortunately, I'm gonna take away a couple cherry bombs, but I'm gonna give one back, just because, some of the perk, like I like the idea, maybe not as a perk, but as like a killer power, the marshy mud.
Yeah.
Where you can that's a great idea,
It's like a solid idea.
because especially if it just affects like an area around you as opposed to like targeting a specific survivor. Give yourself temporary small haste and give them temporary small hindered. That's a good power. That's a basic but really easy to use power,
Yeah.
and that would make it a killer that most people could actually just learn how to play, as opposed to all these complicated ones they're coming out with recently.
Yeah.
So so I'll give you a cherry bomb back for that one.
Thank you.
I think that I really like the idea of the flashlight having the little flash flag. So you'll get 1 cherry bomb for that one.
Woo.
And I really... So I guess, as far as the survivor goes, there wasn't too much you had on the survivor siren.
No, I didn't.
But that's okay. But you don't get any cherry bombs for that one,
That's totally
because
valid.
you did say detective or investigator or something.
Yeah.
So you had at least had a general idea. So you don't get any taken away. And after all those are tallied up, the mega bomb
Oh,
is gonna go to. Then the mega bomb is the winning bomb. It means that the next person it's gonna be your turn to do the podcast. I think is gonna have to go to Micah this time, just because Pedro Pascal, and Pedro Pascal, and the Maury. I think what really sealed it
the
and gave you that last
Maury.
Maury bomb. It was the John Cena.
Shell crusher.
Yep, that's that. I think right there. And as long as I can get that legendary John Cena skin for
Yes.
for Kappa,
agreed.
then I think that my world will be complete.
Yes, agreed.
It's just like a painting of John Cena on the shell.
I would settle for that in a heartbeat. That would be great. If you bring
get
John
the John
Cena
Cena skin, you actually do go invisible.
Yes, that'd be great. Give us a John Cena and Pedro Pascal in Dead by Daylight is the gist of this activity.
Yes,
Yes.
agreed.
Beautiful.
10 out of 10.
I love that. Okay.
Love it.
And so I guess this is going to be a farewell to the viewers until next time.
Until
la
next
pasta.
time.
And we are going to try to be doing this a little bit more frequently. So hopefully we can try to move towards maybe once a month. But
Okay.
we'll see how that goes. Finding time to do the podcast is ironically just a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
Just with all of our lives recently. But it will be our best effort to keep doing this. And hopefully everyone out there who is watching this currently, hopefully you continue to enjoy our antics.
Yes.
Woo woo.
So thank you for coming.
We're so funny.
Yeah, thanks for lending your ears. I have the links to my co-conspirators in the comments below. So if you guys want to go check those out, absolutely. I'm doing socials. You guys want to go check out my socials? I really just upload shorts right now. As soon as Siren's managing them a little bit more, I'm sure there'll be posts and other things coming out. So stay tuned, everyone. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. Look forward to other videos that I have coming out soon. Check out some of the stuff that I already have on the channel. Check out Siren's channel. We don't have anything linked right now for Micah yet, but if she does ever end up having something down there, then
I'm not that cool.
then definitely go check it out if she ever moves that way. All right. So depending on when you're watching this. So thank you all again, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye bye.